Hello everyone, I am honored today to have Michelle Sullivan. She's executive director at All Age Read Together. She's here to talk to us about this great nonprofit. Michelle, thank you for being here. I am honored to have you. I know you are in very busy time right now, but I'm glad you gave me 1 hour of your time, because we are, and I am so eager to know about the organization. Tell us a little bit first about you, your history, your bio. How did you, what is your history before, and how did you get involved with All Age Read Together?
Sure. Well, thank you, Natasha, for having me today, first of all. So my story actually began when I was a preschooler. My mother was a single parent when I was 4 years old, and she was working in a cereal factory. And at the time, she placed a high value on education and making sure that I learned to read first and foremost, and that I entered kindergarten ready. And so she cobbled together some funding to make sure that I was able to go to a preschool. Part of the reason was not that she wasn't giving me some of the foundational skills and reading with me, but it was the social and emotional component of that. Being with my peers, sharing, learning how to take turns and raise your hand. I was an only child, and I was painfully shy. Luckily, I am not any longer, but I was painfully shy. I used to hide underneath her skirt at the grocery store. And so she recognized that I really needed that social and emotional component. And so because she placed such a high emphasis on education, it was always the top priority in our house. So as I moved through school, well, actually, when I was still in elementary school, she married a gentleman who then went on to adopt me. He became the youngest chief of police in New York State. My mom went on to get her education, both undergraduate, went on in special education, interpretation, and worked with the deaf and hearing impaired students in high school. And so she placed an emphasis on her education as well, which was modeling for me. And also my father did the same, and then became the youngest chief in New York State. I went on to undergraduate degree and a law degree where I focused on disability education, poverty law, and education law. Primarily because that is what I became passionate about and had been that child.
Yeah.
So that is my story. I found All Ages Read Together after I had a stint at the federal level. I was working on at a national nonprofit organization, United Cerebral Palsy, and recognized that I like and crave that personal connection, that making the difference and working alongside families was what I really craved. And I wasn't getting that. I was working in the public policy department, doing wonderful things, I thought, for, our national nonprofit, but I wasn't feeling the impact directly.
Yeah.
And I needed that, craved that. All Ages Read Together had an opening. I didn't know anyone. I didn't know anyone on any book. I went to the interview. It was passed along to me by a gentleman who was working in a community foundation, and he said, "You'd be great at this." And so he passed it along to me. lo and behold, went to interview, and we made the match.
Wow.
So
how long you been with them?
I have been with them 8 years this year.
Wow.
8 years this year.
Wow, that's the anniversary of You've Got Married to. Wow, that's 8 years.
Well,
wow.
that's a lucky number.
So tell us a little bit about all age read. Maybe we can start first about the programs.
Absolutely.
I know you do, and before we go farther, because I have to share with the audience this is the most cute things I ever seen. What a great idea, Michelle. This book is so cute. So basically, you're talking about the preschool, why preschool matter, and the uniquely art and all that. How did you come up with this idea? This is so cute to have.
So I was talking with our team, and I said, everyone puts out brochures, everybody puts out promotional material, but why don't we focus on what makes us uniquely all ages read together? And that is that we provide free books to every child in our program on a weekly basis. And so that's what I said to them. I said, what do you think about making a little book? And everybody said,
cute.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So that's how the little book came about.
Thank you. Great idea. Okay, so we go back to the program.
Sure. So All Ages Read Together provides free preschool to low-income children in need that are not qualifying for publicly funded programs like Head Start, or in Virginia, what's called Virginia Preschool Initiative, which was originally the vision to close the entire gap for families that may not be qualifying for Head Start and may need a program. But the population has outpaced the funding for that. And so All Ages Read Together closes that gap. We are available to any family that needs a free preschool program for their child. And we keep our application extremely simple. It's one page, does not ask a lot of questions. Most of the families that we are serving are families who have applied for publicly funded programs like Head Start or Virginia Preschool Initiative, and for whatever reason, they are not qualifying for that. Most of the time, that's just because they are slightly over income. Mm-hmm. And so we take those families into our program free of charge, provide the children with a book a week for the entire school year, so September through May. We provide skill building to allow them to be ready for kindergarten on day one, with a primary focus on early literacy skills. And we provide a preschool environment for them. And it's an independent program, so the children come without the parents. Kind of that discussion of, I needed some of that as social emotional. They have to be able to experience what it's going to be like when they have that separation. And this really boosts their confidence, gets them ready. So all of our classes are taught by a teacher and a bilingual assistant who speaks the predominant language in the class. And we also have at least one volunteer in the classes as well. So that ratio is quite small, because we have an average of about 10 children in a class. So there's a lot of one-on-one work that can be done with the students in our classes.
Yes, not a lot. Well, so where is the location, and do you cover Loudoun only, or Loudoun Fairfax?
Great question. We cover all of Northern Virginia, Fairfax, and Loudoun. Mm-hmm. So we have classes from Leesburg all the way to Alexandria.
Wow. And where is the location, the center, where they meet?
Sure. So wonderful question. We operate our classes in-kind space, donated space in the community. And the reason we do that is so that we eliminate transportation barriers for our families, because that's a primary concern. So we are in affordable housing communities, we are in libraries, we are in community centers and schools.
Wow, that's awesome. So I know that that was a long time. I mean, you've been with them 8 years, so basically you're doing excellent job to be there for that long. Is that something during, I'm not gonna tell you during the 8 years, but probably for the last 3 years, you accomplished and you felt so proud about what you did? Can you share with us something special? I don't know what it was. Maybe this book. I mean, this is cute accomplishment and different, unique. So something like you really accomplished for the last 2-3 years.
Sure.
You're proud of.
This is a little longer than that, but I think it is something I'm tremendously proud of, and that is I expressed that some of my background had been the disability law component. So one of the things that I saw was, well, would there be an opportunity for us to partner with Loudoun County Public Schools and Fairfax County Public Schools and have some inclusive classes? And what I mean by inclusive classes, it means that there's at least half of that class is made up of children with mild developmental disabilities, okay? And these children would have been receiving services out of their homes because the school systems would send a resource teacher to provide mild speech or occupational therapy or some of these things that would be done out of their homes. So what we did in turn was now offer this preschool opportunity for them to be in a class environment. We share the cost with Loudoun County Public Schools and Fairfax County Public Schools because they provide the special education early childhood resource teacher, and we provide the bilingual assistant.
Wow.
And so now those classes are part of our program, and we are so incredibly proud of those partnerships. And we get asked on a yearly basis if we can expand those classes in our program. So,
do you have a limit of student you can take during the year? Like you say, we can have like 100 or 150, and we can't more.
No, okay. we try to meet the need. We work with the space that we are in.
Yeah.
So if there was by chance, if there, we typically would have taken 10 in one particular environment, but we have 12 children that really need to be placed at that particular location. We look at the environment and make sure that we can accommodate that many. If not, we can look for another location that's in the vicinity so that we're not causing undue hardships for the parents.
Yeah. And I'm assuming this is weekdays from Monday to Friday. What is the hours?
Sure. So this is only 2 days a week.
2 days a week, okay.
2 hours. But I always say to people, if you think about that, we're talking about impact here. If you take out of that scenario snack time, lunch time, nap time, what I call self-care, practicing things like tying shoes, those types of things. If you take all of those types of things out, you really in a full day don't get much more than approximately 2 hours of skill building. And our teachers are masters at being able to utilize that time effectively and efficiently to get the skills skill building in.
This is great. This is awesome. Talk to us about events during the year.
Sure. So we have a couple of signature events that we have every year. One of our board members, Peter Knapp, is a realtor, and
I know Peter. He's with me with the 100 Women.
Exactly. He's phenomenal. And so years ago, he chaired a golf tournament for the organization. He's really the complete mind behind that, and he was able to keep that going, and we've had that all these years. So we really appreciate his leadership around having that golf tournament. And so we have that. That's going to be September 10th this year. Yes, absolutely, and we have it at Raspberry Golf Club. So that's where we will have that. And then the other event that we have is a hoedown themed event that we have in October. And we also have that in Loudoun County as well. We haven't picked a date for that yet. It may look a little different than it has in years past. But we are to be continued with that. But it is going to likely be in October, and we'll be definitely publicizing it.
Yeah. Wow, you're busy. So, what is? I know it's beginning of the year, but any goal you have for this year? You know, like you're planning other
Sure.
of those big two events. Anything that you're looking for, or anything you're pursuing, and you hope it can happen, or anything like that?
So really, my biggest hope is around coordinated enrollment, working closely with the counties to make sure that we are, if a child is not qualifying for a program, that we are somehow creating a pathway for them to get to our program without causing undue burden to the families. So that is my goal this year, is to try to make that possible in any way that I am able to, working with our wonderful partners at the county level and the schools.
Yeah. How can we help as businesses? Like this is, or also the audience who can hear us. How
Absolutely.
can we help you, Michelle?
Sure. So a variety of different ways. There is a community giving day that is coming up, and that is going to be March 25th.
Okay.
It is called Give Choose. The platform is created by the Community Foundation for Loudoun and Northern Fauquier, and that platform allows all of the organizations in Loudoun County to have a voice for the day, to amplify their mission, to allow the greater community to understand what we do and why it matters. So that's one way. We are always interested in having drives, book drives. Like I said, we provide a book a week to our students. The curricula is built around that book. But we also, at graduation time, love to be able to give our children 3 or 4 books tied with a ribbon, books around subjects that we know that they love, because we've gotten to know our students. We have small class sizes and are able to really know what they love, whether it's dinosaurs or tea parties or rocks
or fish.
So we're able to really get to know them, and so book drives are phenomenal
We'll
for
be doing
us.
one for you guys. We're planning to. So
Thank
I
you.
hope more businesses and even audience who thinking they have children books. So you will take also in good shape used
Absolutely.
books.
Gently used books that are for preschool age children, ages 4 and 5.
Okay.
So those are the children that are coming into our classes are getting ready to go to kindergarten the next year. So it's
basically
books.
baby books. Baby books. What about, so on those events, would you also ask sometimes for sponsorship and stuff like that? Okay.
Absolutely. We're always looking for sponsorships. It's also possible for businesses to sponsor a portion of our classes.
Yeah.
So we could have a number of companies go in together and possibly sponsor a class, or just individually say, I'd be interested in doing something like that. Is that possible? We would love to have people sponsor some of our classes. It's great because we like to create real bonds with our sponsors and have them come in various times of the year to do different projects or read. We have Read Across, what we call Read Across All Ages Read Together is coming up March 3rd through the 7th, and it's a week-long dedicated celebration of literacy. And Sony Corporation of America sponsors that for the program, and we get a dedicated book for that week, and lots of we at that time we have a lot of public officials who come in to read to our classes. But anytime, we always love readers. We love to have readers. And supply drives, that's another thing. We always need new Play-Doh. We always need dot markers. We always need crayons.
And volunteer. What about volunteer? Probably teachers, volunteer.
Volunteers are always welcome if you have any interest in volunteering, and students too. We love to have the students in the summertime. It usually doesn't work for them during the school year because it's while they're in school too. But summertime we take a lot of students, and we've had so many of them say, you know, I wasn't really sure what I might want to major in college, and now I know I want to teach.
That's amazing. So, I gotta tell you something, and you know, I start to read. I read books, and I still love to have books on paper. I never liked the Kindle and all these technology. I still love to have a paper book and read, because this is how I'm immigrant. I'm coming, you know. The English is my second language, and I really, from reading on books, I did learn a lot. Michelle, thank you for everything you do. You're very unique of what you do, and we appreciate you. And we will share the website, so if anybody wants to connect with you or fill up a form, they want to volunteer, they want to help financially, they want to sponsor, we will put all the information on the website.
Wonderful. Or if they know a family that might need our program, please send them our way.
Yeah. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much,
Natasha. Thank you.